Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds. Heaven, Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Let's make sure that people know about the alternative, and this we could do by changing their behavior or providing good food first, and then their mind will be a better breeding ground or a more fertile ground for these moral arguments and other arguments to sink in.
Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, 'cause no matter how much we try to cover up, guilt is still there.
If you should wake up in the historical region of Livonia, you can greet people with Jova or Mok, which means good morning in Livonian, a Balto-Finnic language. I'm Elsbeth. The wise Livonians wish that you make every decision in your life with compassion and wisdom. Welcome to part 2 of our show, Creating a Vegan World with Tobias Leenaert, vegan. In our first show, we introduced Tobias Leenaert, vegan, and learned about his pragmatic approach to creating a vegan world. We heard how he compares the abolition of human slavery in the past with the noble goal of ending the enslavement of animal people. To understand Tobias' strategic approach, it helps to look ahead to the future. We need to think pragmatically, he says, about the steps we can take to get there and what that path might look like in the real world.
I think that it's very important to see that things that are not ideal, but that may work at that time and may be winnable, they can set up society for an evolution towards what we want in the end. So it's not always going to go the way we want. It's not going to always going to be a straight path. It's going to be a bendy path sometimes, and it's going to work with winnable objectives and with winnable campaigns that are not ideal, but that lead us in the direction, step by step, of what we want.
The vegan path combines an understanding of the intrinsic importance of animal people and an ethical commitment to follow the compassionate diet and lifestyle to stop their suffering. A popular understanding among vegans is that what comes first is the belief that it's wrong to cause animal people to suffer, and then the commitment to veganism naturally follows. But is this always the case? In his book How to Create a Vegan World, a Pragmatic Approach, Tobias explains that change goes both ways.
So you can come at it the other way around. You can help people change their behavior first, which means that they would start eating, to some degree, maybe not always, vegan food or vegetarian food here and there, and they don't have the reasons yet for that we want. Maybe they do it for health reasons, maybe they do it because they like to eat something different, whatever, maybe just because it's available where they are. But the thing is that by eating that way, even without knowing why, what they experience is that, okay, this is good food, this is tasty, this is doable, I can do this, I can afford this. And you can imagine that at that moment, if you approach them at that moment with these arguments, it would be much easier for them to accept them. If you talk at that moment about the interests of animals, it becomes much more easier to open their mind to that and think about those arguments and think about the animals once they have experienced that they don't have to be defensive anymore because there's nothing to lose, because they've already experienced that they can still have great food. As long as somebody is really afraid of losing something, like their steak or whatever, and they don't believe there's any alternative, or they will be very defensive. So let's make sure that people know about the alternative, and this we could do by changing their behavior or by giving them good food or providing good food first, and then their mind will be a better breeding ground or a more fertile ground for these moral arguments and other arguments to sink in.
Our beloved Supreme Master Qinghai Vegan has mentioned that a vegan diet can help bring out our innate compassion. Let us hope that it also works to help flexitarians.
Veganism is not just about the animal people suffering, but it's about our own love and compassion. Then we remember it, we uncover that again, so that quality will shine forth. Yeah, will be nurtured, will grow big. That's when you awaken yourself and reclaim your power of love and compassion. This power will enable you to be more enlightened.
No to vegan, 'cause you want to go to hell. Everything is free there.
Considerate viewers, we will pause for a moment to catch up on some positive vegan news from around the world. We'll be right back after this message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show, Creating a Vegan World with Tobias Leenaert, Vegan, Part 2 of 2. Tobias's strategy has been very effective in encouraging omnivores around the world to become flexitarians, thanks to the diligent work of ProVeg International, which currently has branches in 10 countries across 4 continents: Asia, Africa, North America, and Europe. The ProVeg International has set a goal to reduce the global consumption of animal people's products by 50% by 2040. Besides his strategy applicable to individuals, Tobias also shared with us his wisdom about how to advocate for change at an institutional level. Let's hear the method he recommends.
So one challenge we have as that people, especially who care about animals first and foremost, have is that they'll always want to talk about the animals, and I want to do that too. I think that's what's closest to my heart, and that's what I want to convince other people of. But that is not necessarily the best strategy. So the better strategy, I think, is to see what is interesting and relevant to the person we are trying to influence, right? So in this case, the person I talked to and I was trying to influence or convince was the Counselor for Health and Environment. So I talked about health and environment as arguments for this vegetarian day. And this is what you will see a lot also in politics and in people in government, etc., that they are much more interested in the topics of health and environment, that they believe this is more interesting to their constituents. So that's what will move them if you talk about that.
For those who reduce the consumption of animal people products and become flexitarians, we would like to congratulate you for making an essential step towards becoming vegan. We would also like to remind you that it's imperative that you go all the way and adopt a vegan diet and lifestyle, as this is the minimum human standard expected by heaven, as explained by our beloved Supreme Master Qinghai, vegan, when she shared with us why the end of the world did not take place as predicted in 2012.
The planet is saved, but the people still have to live up to humans' real standard in order to preserve a human's world according to heaven's mandate. If we don't, then we will have to bear the consequences, or our future children will have to. That's, as we sow, so shall we reap. The screening process will always continue until at least humankind have changed to a better standard, to the real human standard, with love, compassion, and peacefulness coexisting together. Now, we humans are pardoned to some extent, to some degree, but we must prove worthy of this world. It's up to the people now to choose either the noble way of living or the lesser standard of humans for present life and the hereafter. We have to live according to the true human standard. The minimum is laid out in all kinds of scriptures in the world, like the 5 precepts, the 10 commandments. This is a minimum standard. Thou shalt not kill. But if we continue going to kill each other or killing other beings, like the animals, people, for example, then we are not living up to the human standard. Not to talk about heaven's standard yet.
We sincerely thank Mr. Tobias Leenaert, vegan, for spending the time with us. Let's finish by hearing what he says about the international chain of Loving Hut restaurants, inspired by Supreme Master Qinghai and the people who operate them.
I'm especially very grateful for the emphasis that is put on plant-based food, and which is concretized, among other things, with all the Loving Hut places all over the world, which I think are a very good thing, and because we can influence so many people through good food that we make available at good prices. I think the Loving Hut restaurants are a good example of that. And also on a personal level, I travel a lot, and I've eaten at a lot of Loving Huts all over the world, and I'm always struck by also how kind the people are working there. So they're good places to go to, and it feels like even when I'm far away from home, it feels like a bit of a coming home when I enter them.
Tobias's book, How to Create a Vegan World, A Pragmatic Approach, is available on Amazon.com. To learn more about Tobias Leenaert Vegan and his book, please visit veganstrategist.org.
Don't kill any living beings. Don't try to rule them. Lord Mahavira, vegan.
Thoughtful viewers, we appreciate your company today. Coming up next is Awakening to Spiritual Awareness Part 4 of 14 on Between Master and Disciples. We pray that everyone will do everything they can in their own lives and through their unique and purposeful position in society to help the world progress as quickly as possible toward a fully vegan one, in which all beings are treated with love and compassion.
Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/VE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/VE.
저희 방송은 다양한 언어를 제공합니다. 다음을 참고하세요. springmastertv.com/schedule 그리고 springmastertv.com/ve